You're in your early 40s. You're waking up at 3 in the morning for no clear reason. Your mood is swinging, and your cycle is unpredictable. It's common to write this off as the stress of a busy life, or simply the cost of getting older. After all, the reproductive timeline most of us were taught assumes that natural menopause doesn't arrive until much later. In the United States, the average age is 51. Clinically speaking, menopause is a single day on the calendar. It's defined specifically as the moment you reach 12 consecutive months without a menstrual period. But tying the entire experience to that one final date ignores a difficult biological reality. Women frequently endure up to a decade of severe, erratic physical and emotional changes long before that milestone is reached. Labeling this entire turbulent stretch as menopause creates a misleading medical narrative. It leaves women feeling isolated and unsupported while they are still fertile, wondering why their bodies are reacting so aggressively years ahead of schedule. The physiological shifts happening in the years leading up to that final period belong to a distinct phase called perimenopause. Rather than starting in your 50s, this multi-year transition typically begins in your mid-40s, and for many women, it starts right at age 40. Reframing this timeline validates the entire experience. Those early sleep dysregulations and mood swings are not signs of premature aging. They are highly predictable markers that the transition has begun. The menstrual cycle is usually the first system to show the strain. As ovulation becomes increasingly inconsistent, the cycle loses its reliable 28-day rhythm, becoming unexpectedly shorter, longer, or heavier. Around the same time, sleep architecture starts to fail. Long before any hot flashes appear, you might find yourself abruptly waking up at 3 in the morning, unable to drift back to sleep. This sleep loss is quickly compounded by a new vulnerability in mood. Out of nowhere, uncharacteristic irritability, heightened anxiety, and depressive dips begin to surface. Then come the secondary physical markers, struggling to find the right words, a heavy cognitive brain fog, and the early onset of mild temperature flushing across the skin. Looked at in isolation, these seem like unrelated, localized problems. But when they appear together in your 40s, they form the definitive diagnostic picture of early perimenopause. The severity of these symptoms comes down to a common biological myth. Ovarian hormone production does not fade away in a smooth, gentle downward line. This chart shows what happens to reproductive hormones. Instead of a gradual decline, estrogen and progesterone fluctuate wildly, spiking higher than during reproductive years before crashing. That erratic movement creates a confusing internal environment: estrogen dominance one week and severe deficiency the next. The brain's hypothalamus, which regulates temperature and emotion, becomes highly sensitized to these micro-fluctuations. It begins acting like a broken thermostat, triggering intense heat and sudden emotional shifts in response to the endocrine chaos. That means your chaotic day-to-day experience is entirely valid. It isn't a failure of willpower. It is a direct physical reflection of a highly erratic internal environment. These wild hormonal spikes and crashes don't happen in a vacuum. They strain the nervous system and rapidly exhaust the metabolic resources your body uses to maintain stability. When the stress command center of the brain, the HPA axis, is constantly reacting to these spikes, adaptogens like ashwagandha and maca can help recalibrate that response, blunting the compounding effects of the stress hormone cortisol. Because this high-demand phase drains the minerals that promote calm, supplementing with highly absorbable magnesium glycinate supports the specific pathways the brain needs to shut down that broken thermostat response at night and restore sleep. Similarly, vitamin B6 provides the chemical architecture to synthesize serotonin and dopamine, directly counteracting the mood swings that occur the moment estrogen levels crash. When combined, this precise botanical and mineral nutrition acts as a biological buffer. It gives the nervous system the tools it needs to stabilize itself, even while the hormonal fluctuation continues in the background. Naturally, these nutritional tools are most effective when built on a solid, holistic foundation, one that includes active stress management, regular physical movement, and tracking symptoms with a doctor. Viewing perimenopause as a manageable biological transition changes the experience. This shift responds to the right support, allowing the body to find a new equilibrium. By understanding the true timeline and utilizing targeted hormone-free support, you gain the ability to navigate your midlife years with absolute clarity. When you replace the mystery with hard science, you reclaim your balance and energy, and finally get back to feeling like yourself again.